Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have REK'SAI. It's not a rework, but it's a rework. The champion has been struggling in Season 13 despite the fact we've had ganking metas, and metas that in theory should suit her. Basically, we've gone back on a few other changes that used to, factor in the past, such as the Tremor Sense. That's been reduced. We now have an HP bonus ratio on our healing sustain, which makes us better later in the game with those fights, in and out, and everywhere else. Hero now has cooldown scaling plus a bit of a refresh mechanic. Essentially, we're looking at a significantly more potent REK'SAI. We are still using Conqueror and other such plain runes. I can't help you there. That is exactly what it is. I was gonna stop to say something about it, but I figured maybe it's just better to let it go. See the nice drag on the wolf camp there? Obviously the Kindred doesn't quite get the kill. Nice drag. Ineffective though. You have to be Mundo and understand that a little bit better, I think. So, what are we looking at from the Kindred's perspective here versus REK'SAI? REK'SAI's still gonna do typical stuff. You're still gonna have your red side quadrant into possible. You could reverse up to this. You could do it down here, reverse down to bottom lane. Highly advise that if you're on the blue side. You can also cut it to the mid lane to snowball that. You could take care of business, which means you could cut down here and get in front of, say, the Hecarim, the Karthus, someone else who's maybe full clearing down. You can kind of cut your red quadrant, cut down here, and make the gank, and then push back up to your red side after the Scuttle Crab. And with the season being split into two parts, it is time for another bootcamp. Myself and Virkayu will be joining forces with Gosu Academy once more, as well as Coach Kybit, to ensure that you have all the fundamentals you need that will outlast any meta, and maybe even time itself. You'll see the topics on your screen now, a completely revamped curriculum, especially to build on the previous bootcamps, and along with tickets for this bootcamp, we will give you all of the previous VODs to the previous bootcamp, so that you can have all the fundamentals you need as a total package. And if you can't make the lessons, don't worry about it, it's a 2-week bootcamp. If you have work, school, there will be VODs available online for you as well. Teaching materials, exercises, classes, lectures, coaching, as well as a free course giveaway from my own personal site, Virkayu.gg. You'll be entered into a raffle and I will be giving away 10 of those courses. Click the link below to join the Gosu Academy Bootcamp on June 26th with myself and Coach Kybit, and I look forward to seeing all of you there. The Kindred in the meantime doing just the absolute weirdest things. Now, I'm just going to pause it here because the Kindred was trying to do something to get ahead of the REK'SAI. Can anyone think about what it is? Because I feel like I need to quiz you on this. I covered it. Blue, wolves, red. If you finish off the baby wolf, you get level 3 from those 3 camps, right? It's a shift from the experience boost that they gave us earlier in the season. It's not a very prototypical clear, but it is something I made videos on and content on saying, hey, you can do this. Why would you do this? Because you want to beat this here ganking jungler before they get down there. And when we had the Silas Elise meta, that's what the name of the game was. However, because we didn't finish off the baby wolf thusly, we're a little bit compromised. We don't have our level 3. And obviously, as you can see here, you got to be in range for those minions to give you that XP. And obviously, it's being split 3 ways. So the Nautilus will go in here and we're kind of hoping we can get that E proc off. Obviously, we're going to queue in to try kill more minions. We still don't have it. So even though the kill is gotten, REK'SAI will be able to move on down. Jin shows up here. Stop canceling orders, man. He's forced to flash because he keeps canceling orders. He's forced to flash because he kept canceling his orders, and then the REK'SAI rotates down, kills the Kai'Sa. Now we can try and kill the Nautilus with another knockup, reburrow, knock it up. Here we go. We have the new mechanic on that Q where we can refresh that duration with basic attacks. It's nice, and also from 4 seconds to 2 seconds on that scaling. And I'm looking at it here because I've got the Ivern changes, the REK'SAI changes. Really a lot of things that are interesting from a jungle perspective. Now, obviously, at this particular stage, once you see the Kindred with 12 CS and double buffs, you know that they did a 3 camper. But they had 11 CS, which means in order to do that, they would have 100% had to do the wolves and they left one behind. That's the only explanation we have at all. And I did a whole video on my main channel, basically to explain how high elo junglers can absolutely predict all this kind of stuff just by noticing these small little things. Now the Kindred goes back to base involuntarily, comes out of the base here, says, cool, can I do something else? Oh, look, I get the RNG of the, what's this thing here? The Scuttle Crab, but the Rex has already taken this one, counter against the mid lane, and now we're being shoved off just a little bit. The Shen does have prior. They will smite it, and they will retreat. So, still a great early game for the REK'SAI. This is exactly the kind of stuff that she's good at. You can drive the tempo for the ganking. You can also react to someone ganking when they're trying to get ahead of you. Because when someone tries to get ahead of REK'SAI tempo, typically they end up making mistakes. They get a bit flustered because they know they're on such a short time or short leash, and the queen will show no mercy, which of course in this case she did. So now we have the Iron Spike Whip here. We have the Kindred going for the Grump into the Wolf refresh, which is obviously normal. But yeah, I'll leave that tracking video below because I feel like that's so powerful in terms of always in terms of always being able to track anything, I feel. You know, if something random happens like this, you don't expect it. Okay, how do I quickly assimilate what happened and then adjust my game plan? It's such a difficult skill, but obviously one that we need to thrive on. And now, because we go Scuttle Crab, cross mid lane, get pushed up that Scuttle Crab, we don't bother about doing tier 2 Raptors, tier 2 Krugs. We go back to base and immediately know the Kindred's going to fall back from this Scuttle Crab to the Grump the Wolves and most likely sequence down. So what we do is we say, I'm going to get ahead of you and gank the bottom lane again. Because REK'SAI is at the core of her existence. Still a ganking jungler. Can you full clear and farm? Yes. But you are still a ganking jungler. We'll take this away as well. Kindred's most likely just going to be doing a full clear, maybe holding this and looking for a gank if possible, but Kai'Sa's got that, so we don't want to absorb her experience. Can't contest this because bot prior, mid prior. Nautilus leaves the base, sees the ward over the wall, puts a control ward. We finish this up and we will notice that as well. All these things all the time going through your mind as a REK'SAI player, because I remember the first time I got Master Plus many moons ago, when we had, you know, like the like +1s and +0s and +7s LP, even with good MMR, things like this, because it was limited. It was with REK'SAI. I used REK'SAI for the most of the climb. REK'SAI and Warwick, actually. Warwick was the final push, interestingly. So I was one of the few crazy people that was willing to do that. I just couldn't, you know, the REK'SAI, you go through these streaks, right? REK'SAI's doing well, then Warwick's doing well, then REK'SAI's doing well. And I just chucked in the Warwick there as well. But the REK'SAI, for me, I was absolute peak REK'SAI. That was my best REK'SAI moment because it was so fast, right? Every decision was just absolutely aggressive and, you know, psychopathically precise in terms of I knew where I was going, I knew what I was doing at all moments. And it was really, really fun to get to that level. And I do feel like that's why she's difficult, because getting to that level isn't easy, but when you do and you're in that zone with REK'SAI, it's one of the best 1v9 carry junglers in the game. And I'm glad they've given us some quality of life because it's such a cool feeling to think like that. And even if my hands, as I do more coaching and analytical work, don't reach that same level in the previous, literally, decade, at least my mind believes I can. So it's fun to kind of imagine myself in the situation, live vicariously through this game here. Kai'Sa's still a lot of damage on that ISO Q, but hey, we'll get the kill. So this is the little bit floaty McBoat face or whatever it is. The Kindred's obviously going to do some counter jungling here, we know that, but again, spam gank the lane, and the Q, Prey Seeker, burrowed, now gives 5 seconds of vision instead of that 2.5 seconds. And they've also made the targeted W match the untargeted W, because as you all know, if you wanted to get extended range on that W, you would make sure you tap W versus right-clicking, so they've kind of normalized that now as well. So we have here the attempt to gank at the top lane, as REK'SAI will basically say, look, I forced this to happen. And now because the Nautilus is robbing with the Kindred because of our pressure here, we can absolutely cut the wave here. I love this as a Rengar, as a Kha'Zix, as a REK'SAI, as an Evelynn. Anything that keeps this pressure up. The Kindred will get this, no doubt, unless we decide to base and deal with it. But we can just control this whole jungle now, and Kai'Sa is removed totally while we give mega plates to the Jhin. So you don't always need to get kills in your ganks, but the Kindred is forced to follow through equal and opposite 3v1, but who would you rather have? A Shen being dove 3v1 or a Kai'Sa being dove 3v1? I'd much rather have the Shen because brother can just respawn and ult us if we want to do a Giga push, and he's always going to be useful. And REK'SAI enables these plays, and I love this. Has got everything you need from REK'SAI. Quadrant, did business, cool. I'm gonna do this or look for this. See a Kindred, rotate, get snacks. Try double scuttle, river control. Nice. Go back to base, don't worry about these camps. You could, but you don't. Immediately repeat gank the lane before the enemy jungler gets down there. Cut them off. Take the objective from this, right? Do quadrant and realize, I don't really want to go here, loop back down, repeat gank. Now live in their camps. Take the whole quadrant away. And yeah, you sell your top laner out, but as we have 1600 gold, the lead you gain from that and the lead your bottom lane gains from that is astronomically huge and wonderful. The best way to explain it. There's Kindred, hello, good ward, thank you so much. We see 52 CS, 111 with a noon quiver. And again, we're just gonna chill and wait. And you can invest this time here. You know, you can invest this time here because why not? It's the lane with a snowball. And there's a Shen with the ult, and now the Renekton, who is gonna be very strong, by the way, is going, well, I have a lead, but what good does it do me if the Shen can just go get fed somewhere else? That's why you want to camp bot line. That's why I made the tweet. That's why the tweets are directed in that way at the moment. REK'SAI just enables everything. But the quality of life on that Q, well, straight up buff on that Q and the passive, love it. Absolutely love this HP refresh. And it's going to make things like the Stride Breaker, as you see here, become huge. The movement speed allows you obviously more inherent accessibility after the Prowler's Claw removal. We obviously have a bit of attack speed, extra fury, extra chobs, true damage anybody, good AD, good HP for the passive conversion, haste is beautiful, and obviously that passive that allows us to slow people. So it gives us the sticking power that we want. And Korea were running another, trying this again here. Oh, I would have tried the Prey Seeker Q that a snack that Kindred killed. Not gonna lie, I probably would have done that. See, here's where we wish we had this Prowler's Claw, that flash Prowler's Claw active knockup, you know, auto cancel Q snack into the Renekton, although we don't need all of that. Yeah, that was not kind. That was not the best moment for the REK'SAI, but we sniped the Kindred, we flashed W onto the Renekton, and we basically go all out. I do feel like we could we take him? I mean, I would trust myself. But again, maybe more data is needed on this patch without the lethality. I think that's something that might be playing tricks on us. So do be wary of these kinds of things, but hey, go limit test it because it's the only way you're going to learn. Now, we did lose the Herald, but they got greedy and all died. Good job, Shen, Chad-based gamer. We'll finish off this quadrant and now we can cut in. See the Kindred down here. Again, as REK'SAI, it's a cutthroat killing intention, you know, against the enemy jungler. Now, for example, if I was counter jungling this red and pushed the Kindred out, hypothetically, right? Say I was here. And I did this, and there was no objective, and the Kindred went topside. I would just cross mid lane and keep that pressure up. Like, that's the kind of instinct you want with REK'SAI. Think of her truly in a very strong predatorial sense. I think the mindset does a lot for people, more than straight up mechanical combos and animation canceling and things like that. The mindset is huge. But it's also why people don't close very quickly. And in this game, there will not be closing quickly-ness. Yeah, we'll see. So we're gonna go ahead and do this Dragon. We have here the Shen again, creating some space for himself by going for a trade and maybe death. A little bit of a taunt, gives himself a shield. We'll go back to the blue side here. Kindred in the meantime is running with the Nautilus as well. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Well then. Good champion. Now, our Jhin is so fed, he has 5,600 cash money gold, and that's more than us. We have 5.3. We have here the Thresh killing the Renekton, trying his best to kill more people. Kindred will get that buffed E-prog, obviously, go for the Kraken Slayer. Oh, that's not the build you want to go. We're definitely looking at more Trinity Force Kindred. Super strong. Trinity Force, Black Cleaver, we get the Flash ult there. Flash knock up with the Shen ult, which is obviously juicy and fresh, and this will be another kill for us as well. We'll take that. Kindred does get plates, but that's okay. Jhin will now take this. See, don't do this. Ah, shit. So, the buff sharing is only when your jungle pit's fully upgraded. So now we have 13 stacks, he's just stealing our red. And I hate this. If you're the ADC, I don't care how fed you are, just leave it. Because you'll take it later on. Please don't take these camps right now. You know? Yeah, like, don't take it. It's too soon. We need the experience. Wait till the thing's upgraded. Right have explicitly endorsed this as well. I don't remember giving buffs pre-smite upgrade anyway, before mid-game. Like, I just don't. It's my experience. It's my ability to snowball, move around the map. Go hit towers, all right? That's your job. That's literally all your job is. As, again, we're trading, Kindred will show up. But now we have the chess pieces moving around the map, so Shen can move on down. Can we try get some kills? Is it me or was that a lot of Shen damage too? That's still really AD in that champion, his 1v1. Nice rotation, another taunt. The power of just snowballing one lane, while also forcing the enemy jungler to be so severely compromised that when you move around into the mid game, everyone is always there to make the play. This is how you also want to play if you're doing flex 5s or clash or things like that, especially considering it's clash this weekend. Yeah, keep that in mind. I liked it. Like the REK'SAI held a lot of discipline here to not go for the Raptors and Krugs and go base straight down. Finish the quadrant, loop back and do it again, knowing and watching the movements of the Nautilus plus the Kindred. Really good stuff. Now, we will go ahead and push this mid lane. I don't think that's just a noble cause for experience for us. We'll deny this Merc as well. And let's see. Second item is always going to be Black Cleaver. Third item is where you can have the Flex. You can go Sterix for a bit more survivability and passive boost. You're going to also go for the Edge of Night if there's a lot of CC and you want a bit more of a lethality spike. HP is still good as well. Then you also have the GA tech. And what that does is situations like this, you know, where you've got this game in the bag and a Renekton, a Kindred, a Lissandra with a Kai'Sa, one missed position could cause your demise. And you die. and now they get swings back into shutdowns of barons, bounties and turrets, the second herald push, another dragon. It compromises you. So the damage spike from the BF sword plus a stasis from the GA allows you to basically say, look, you killed me once, but you won't kill me again. And it's such a core early game strategy that we've seen in the history of the game, but people don't use it as much anymore. I love it. I love it. You can do it on Ross too, to be honest with you. Like if you have that big of a lead, you know, they might kill you one time as Ross, but if you're GA third and you have that big of a lead, they ain't killing you a second time at all with your sustain. Don't troll with it. I'm just giving an example of some niche cases where you could use it outside of, say, Jarvan and REK'SAI. Now, Lissandra's out of position. Nico says, yo, what's up? Oh, stasis. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Oh, my. Whew, you almost got out of that one. Good. Just die there. Don't use your ult. Because the one way you get back into this game as Lissandra and that team is with a nice flash Lissandra engage with the Renekton being there, with the Kindred being there, with the Nautilus point and click. You know, you really want to keep that going. Now, obviously, Lissandra's ult is not exactly some kind of like magnificent cooldown. It's already 45% recharged, but just in principle. Just in principle, for champions with longer cooldowns, just die. No, wait. We have the Shen joining us here with the ultimate, which is, well, he was joining us with the ultimate, and then things happened. I see him having a fat chat with you guys about win conditions, and this guy's been collapsed upon. 3v1, tries to go out, but unfortunately dies. So I was like, hey, what's going on here? But 3v1 top lane. So as you can see, that's why, you know, when you play, you want to focus on playing, because if you're chatting and streaming, it obviously compromises you. You just miss little things like big things like that. Regardless, the REK'SAI's movement is the most important thing here. You see 3 top lanes, go back to EDU. You see your Shen being collapsed upon, you just go bot lane with the Herald. You said, right, let's punch it. 3 top, we can do that. We'll force bases and respect. From this, we can fall back to take this, this, and this. Well, this, and this. We have the Scuttle Crab. 1654, no Baron, right? So we're relaxed at this particular stage with that push, especially when they overcommit for that shutdown top. Or shutdown, but like kill top, which is what you have to do if you're the blue team. You have to look for those picks as best you can. Now, I do think we should have maybe stolen a few more things as a squad, but that's fine as well. We have the fully upgraded smite, so please don't take it, laners. Let us take it. It gives us the experience. You'll get a free blue. Don't take it. Our gold, our experience, you still get a buff. Okay? Good. Now we're on the same page, because if you take it, you're an asshole. Even though we get the buff, it's not about that. Want the experience and the gold. And now you get a freebie. There you go. Kais is a bit out of position here. Can we be an assassin? Let's have a look here. We're going to E. We're going to hit our Q. Excuse me, just miss our Q. She's going to then alter reposition. That's fine. We'll take that. We'll take that. See, that's where the Prowler's Claw is nice. We did have the Strikebreaker as well, but that's where the Prowler's Claw will be unmatched. That's okay. You know, our movement speed is now, what, 320? Sorry, 420? Nice. That's great. You know, it's better than not being 420, which I think maybe is the case with this Nautilus, or maybe this Lissandra, who knows. Again, rotations. You see the mindset, though. Dragon, float, look for assassination, nothing, push back up. We don't care about falling back. And if you fall back as REK'SAI, you ain't gonna win a lot of games, because even though we will probably be a little better into the mid and the late game with the better suited Bruiser builds, with the increased replenishment of our passive, with those quality of life changes, it's still not going to make you some magical late game champion. And even then, with the lethality builds in the past 2 years, it's been a champion that's absolutely, whoa, we hit the Q, but unfortunately ult didn't go through as Kai'Sa died. Now, obviously, we will get the recharge on our ultimate, but we have to wait for it to come up. 3, 2, 1. It is up. At this point, I kind of miss. See, my idea was this, because I played REK'SAI upon release, so she's one of my original hardcore mains, right? The original teleport ultimate. What I think is to add to the evolve mechanic. I think we have an assassination here, 100%. We have flash, we have knockup, we have strike breaker, we have smite. Ah, there we go. We got the smite for the slow. We can try and catch up. We press the W, we get that as well. And the Q, hops with the bite. Now, with the evolve mechanic in most Void champions, REK'SAI lacks that. So my idea was at level 11 and 16, you could choose to take the current ultimate or the teleportation ultimate, but you'd have to keep it until you next upgraded your ult, right? So if at 11 you're like, well, we're gonna win this game, I want the macro, then you could pick the teleportation spell. If you were 1v9ing and you had such a big lead and you just needed to kill everyone, then you would just keep the killing ultimate, right? The one we have now, which is, for the life of me, for some reason, Void Rush. Goodness gracious. Void Rush. at 16. That's when the decision becomes interesting, right? Because it's like, do you want the macro in a late game, or do you want the damage from that added ultimate? Depends how you build. If you're going with a Strikebreaker Black Cleaver into, say, a more tanky build, then you definitely want to have the mobility versus the AD ratios. So it's not a good idea, but it is an idea, if you catch my meaning. I would like to have some sort of ult option so you could kind of have both. I'm not sure how they would play together, but something where it involves a decision and a commitment to the champion. Maybe you could add it in a different way so you still have Void Rush like we have now, because I think that's huge from repositioning in fights, like absolutely huge. Yeah, I wonder if you could have some duality. Like if you build a certain way, right, you get access to it. I'm not sure how we play through. I think it's worth a brainstorming session, right? Be worth a brainstorming session. Anyway, just my floating thoughts on the matter, as we're just trying to shove them out of the Baron pit here and do this Baron, but we're not really committing to it, and I don't know why. I mean, what are we exactly afraid of? Obviously, the Shen now gets a kill here, but I don't know why we're not just pushing this. I don't know. See, this is the issue that I have with this MMR range, is that they just don't pull a trigger sometimes, and even though they're getting to that high elo stage, you should still be able to just, let's go, 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 you know? Challenge the jungles to say, we have a lead, let's go, take it. And if they come, we kill. We have Shen ult too. And even then, Shen got the kill, so now we have numbers advantage. It's a missed opportunity for a free Baron. That worm is way too easy to kill. REK'SAI floats into the red side jungle. Hello! We can go for killings now. Again, we have a lot of gold in pocket, but it doesn't matter because it's so strong. Forces the ult out, Lissandra's rotating over, so is the Thresh, activates Cerelia's. The Kindred ult is not going to work here. We obviously reposition with a Void Rush. We have a whole squad up, and boom, everybody dies. That'll be one Cloud Dragon or Ocean Dragon, please. Ocean Soul, but wow, that is good for REK'SAI now, isn't it? Really, really good for REK'SAI. Wish we can have, you're right again. Can we have stats on how much our passive has healed us throughout the game? Like, this is really cool stuff. I would love to see that. Total healing from passive throughout the whole game. And then you can really measure the effect in a very data-driven sense from builds, right? Lethality, full damage versus building something like this versus building full tank, long games, short games, mid games. This would be such an amazing piece of data to have. Now, I know we can obviously go and track healing in post-game, but it's not the same as being straight up from this exclusively versus all other metrics in the game. Please write. Now, damage to champion, 638. Obviously, that's solid at this point for something like this. Movement speed now, we get 4% added movement speed. We're at 428, so that keeps getting better. We just bought the GN1 spell swoop. Probably go for a Hex Drinker next, I think, if I recall, just to kind of help with the Lissandra and the possible burst, but I think I would most likely still just go Sterak's. I think Sterak's here is way better against that particular comp, right? The HP is nutty as well. We're at what, 2.5 HP at this point? 0.5k, so why not add a whole bunch more? Let's go, do the Baron, please. I'm getting exhausted. Soul, Baron, too casual now. Let's go. Come on. We're too Han Solo here. You're flying casual. Push this up, somebody. Push this up. See, this is what you get in these master tier games. A little bit. Oh my, that moving ward totally was Nico. Oh wow, it was Nico. Also, it's funny that you can now tweet to professional players and high elo players explaining how many minions are in a wave, because it's like when 7 show up, they don't think twice that it could be a Nico. They just think, oh, free farm. At least ADCs do. Kindred holding mid lane. Baron is up. Oh, goodness gracious me. Lissandra's just cutting the wave. We're just going to go ahead and hit this. We can hit this as REK'SAI. That quality of life shift on the cubing activatable on turrets was beautiful when they did that. Loved it. In fact, the original Void Rush rework, February 2019, REK'SAI, made a video, did very well on this rework. I released that and made it in one day because I was actually going on vacation. And that is the last vacation I have taken. Business waits and growth of brand does not wait. Also, COVID happened. So now we're basically being shilling in their base here. A lot of memories of those REK'SAI videos. Okay. 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 That's why you really don't want to... That was messy. I'm not even going to rewind that. But that's why you... Oh, he went too far in and the Renekton flashes in and I was like, I'm going to slice and dice and eat you up. And then Kindred's going to try and kill the Thresh here. Hits the hook. We have the TP coming through from the Nico. Almost said Shen. I was like, but he's dead. He can't TP. Look at Thresh go, man. Yeah, see, this is why I don't want to wait too long for these trigger pulls. Like, we can take it, we take it. Right? You want this to be down, this to be down. So when you make this dragon play, you got soul, it can just end. Now, fortunately, we did get both inhibs. That's wonderful. And no kills happened for another 90 seconds or something. Which makes sense because obviously blue team are going to be pushing that out and farming, and we can coalesce, group together. Someone can push this down and cut down here. And now you don't want to be a full-on... You don't want to be a full-on assassin at this point, right? You want to make sure the Jhin is alive. The Renekton has shown that commitment. We do have the Shen going in here. We'll get a nice chomp into the Lissandra. She dies, and we lost our G in the last fight. Didn't really pay much attention to that. See, look at this now. Nika goes in for a beautiful ult, but we sit and we make sure we chunk down and try and get to Renekton. Kindred activates the ultimate, which is chilling in the backline, letting Jhin chase down. Now we can keep disrupting, helping, healing, you know, sustaining. Really nicely done. The Renekton was a prior target. We saved our all-in knock-up, made sure that that guy could not go deeper. Important to understand that when you play more like this build. Yeah, you do a hell of a lot of damage, but sometimes if you've got a fed ADC, protect. We mean them, but we need them. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned something. We got 701 damage there, 1400 carved, and yeah, I like it. Her stats are ridiculous. Don't forget the bootcamp. Link will be in the description below. Courses as well. And as always, I will see you all in the next one.